What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. FantasyTeamAdvisors.com bringing home the bacon MLB DFS video for Friday, September 20th, 2024. Yesterday's video, you guys seem to like it. So we talked about some pitchers. We talked about the teams that they're going up against, if they're, ranking them. So what we've done is gone about the top 5 at each position, and you guys seem to have liked that. On top of that, we did the pitches be crazy, which at the end of this video, we go over the pitchers that have the best matchups out of any team. And then we do all of the players that have a 10 out of 10 matchup rating through simulations. But on top of that, we built some lineups yesterday, and we killed it in those lineups. But I am here to tell you, we're going to do this from here on out, but we are going to use SaberSim. So if you don't know what it is, I know a lot of people, and some people that watch this hand build them. Some people that watch these videos use optimizers, and I know that you guys have, some of you, I've heard in our Discord, you had Fantasy Cruncher, and I don't know what's going on with Fantasy Cruncher. I do know that the owner is crazy or an asshole or something like that, from what I've been told, but right before the NFL season kicked off, they went offline, and it was weird. So everyone lost everything. It still isn't up, and people are looking for different optimizers. So I'm gonna show you what SaberSim does, and you can obviously you can do up to 5,000 lineups depending on the package that you get. So it's pretty awesome. So we're going to use them to kind of look at some of these players and build some lineups for you guys at the end with different player pools and different sorting and stuff like that. So it might be a little bit longer video for you, but hopefully it's informative enough to show you what we have. So FantasyTeamAdvisors.com is the website. We do have giveaways every single day. The way to win, be a subscriber to the channel. We are very close to 10,000. We should be able to get it this weekend, hopefully. We are currently, at the making of this video, 42 subscribers away from 10,000. So very excited about that. We're going to have giveaways in these videos. Like the video, be a subscriber, and leave a comment. If this video gets at least 50 likes, you have a chance to win a free week of FTA+. If the video gets 100 likes, a chance at a free month. 150 likes, a chance at a free year. 200 or more likes on a video, a chance at a $500 lifetime pass. So make sure to like this video up. We did not get 50 yesterday, so this is the first time we are not having a giveaway in probably all season. So hopefully, I know a lot of people are off of MLB and onto NFL, but if you didn't check out the Showdown video, we broke it down pretty well. Absolutely love the Jets defense. Patriots are bad. They're very, very bad. So we're going to have videos. If you are new to the channel, subscribe. You will be on the lookout for Showdown breakdowns. We break down the Thursday night Showdown video or game. We break down the Sunday night, and we break down the Monday night. Now, this Monday there are 2 games, so we're probably going to roll up both of those into one video and break down and build lineups in both of those games. So that being said, do kind of want to take a look at any weather concerns for today, if there's going to be any rain. As of now, we look pretty good. We do have some ballpark factors that we want to update, so this is where we'll kind of use SaberSim and other things with the ballpark factors, so on and so forth. So that being said, we're going to take a look at the MLB slate. We've got 12 games. We have a little bit of weather concern here in Boston. And that should be it. So the main slate looking pretty good outside of that. But what we're going to do, we are going to look at the top 5 players at each position, and then we're going to build off of that. So stick around. Good luck. Stick around, and let's have some fun today. I think we will. All right. So 12-game slate, a lot of games to look over. I mean, you can come through here with SaberSim, and you can... there we go. What I like is you can get in here and you can see the teams that are expected to score the most with the implied team totals here, which we've got throughout here. So depending on what you're at, you've got the Yankees at 5.1, one of the highest ones. You got Houston at 5.2. We've got Boston or Minnesota right under 5 at 4.9. and Atlanta at 4 or 5.4. So we've got a lot of them. You can take a look. You can build different settings. You can do everything. But we're going to go over the top fives first. Then we're going to get into everything else here on SaberSim and everything in between. So looking at the first pitcher on the slate is Garrett Cole. Now, he is cheaper than probably what he's used to. He's coming off a very bad game where he gave up 7 earned runs. He has not looked the best since coming back from injury, but he's still sub-4 ERA. Splits-wise, he has not faced Oakland this year, but if you break it down and you go to what he has done in his career in Oakland, now this is a massive ballpark, which should favor him. You've got him. He's only faced the A's 14 plate appearances here, 2.14 or 214 average, striking out 42.9. So it's very skewed because, again, what is that? 6 strikeouts and 14 at-bats against this team. And we know that we've stacked Oakland sometimes this year, and they've actually done pretty well. We look at the stadium here. The wind is blowing out to right, but again, it is a massive, it's a football stadium. It's a massive ballpark, baseball park that is a stadium there. But you've got him at 9,000, which I do like this. Again, though, his game logs, not the best against Boston, but you can see had some pretty good games against the Cubs and Texas. So I'm liking what I'm seeing here. As long as he's healthy and good to go, ramping up. We have 10 more days of the season, the regular season, before we get into the playoffs. So he should have 2 more starts. I like this start for him. So I've got him number 1 right now, especially if he can get some backing from the Yankees offense. Now, Juan Soto might be out, so that is definitely something to pay attention to, but that's one we're looking at. Number 2 I'm looking at is Jacob deGrom down here at 8,100. Coming off his first start last week, only 3.2 innings. So this is, I am a little bit concerned about whether or not he's going to be on some sort of pitch count. Workload restriction for his next start, which I expect to come next week at home versus the Blue Jays. But that was wrong. He is facing Seattle at home, which is great because Seattle is the team that strikes out the most. We used pitchers against them in the Yankee series, and it worked out for us. We used pitchers against Boston yesterday. I said Zach Littell. I really liked him. I think he had 33 DraftKings fantasy points at a very cheap price. Now, deGrom has the stuff to be able to strike out the Mariners enough in 3 or 4 innings that it could pay off his salary. He did 3.2 against Seattle his last start. He now gets that exact same team. He struck out 4 in 3.2. If he's built up a little bit, I like this matchup for him yet again. So I'm going to go back to the well on that. He is, for whatever reason, they've dropped his price down 400 facing the same team. I think it's probably because he's not going deep into games. But I do like deGrom probably. Again, the rest of the season, we're only playing GPPs, tournaments. That's pretty much what you should play at this point. That's where I'm looking at Jacob deGrom at number 2. Number 3, I am taking a look at Corbin Burnes. Now he's 9,700. Going up against Detroit. Detroit has been very good. He just faced this team last time, put up 32 fantasy points. 7 innings, 7 Ks. That was at Detroit. Now he is now at home in Baltimore, where he does have a slightly higher ERA, but he has had success against them in his last start. So then we take a look just in his career-wise, not just necessarily his last start, but looking at it, let's take a look. Did I miss it? There. 25 plate appearances, .087 batting average against him, 32 strikeout percent. So he's got great numbers. He has struggled a little bit this year, but he still has a 3.11 ERA. So I do have Corbin Burnes at number 3. Number 4 might be a little bit up there. Joe Musgrove, 4.23. Coming off a fantastic start in San Francisco where we did use him, but he had a bad start against San Francisco. Now we look at this splits-wise. Home is 4.25, away is 4.18. So basically really doesn't matter. He's going up against one of the worst teams ever in the history of the sport of baseball. I think they have 35 wins. It's terrible. I like this matchup for him. It is a pitcher's ballpark in San Diego. It allows you at 9,100 to go different directions. So, if I'm choosing between Cole or Musgrove here at that price, I'm definitely going with Cole, but I don't mind that at all. So, 5th one that we're looking at is Charlie Morton, Father Time versus Miami. He's already faced him twice this year. 12 innings pitched, has given up 7 runs, 6 of them earned, 14 strikeouts, still averaging 18.3 at that price. I don't mind. He is on the road. On the road, he has been a little bit worse. The last time he faced Miami was back on August 1st. Went 6 innings, gave up 1 run, not earned, had 6 strikeouts in that game, and had 24.7 fantasy points. I don't see why he doesn't do that again here. With the way of how bad Miami is, I would take a look at Charlie Morton as number 5th pitcher that we like today. So now we're going to move to the catching position today. Number 1, as of right now, I do like Adley. Now, Herter is not 100% confirmed yet, so I don't know if that's going to be the Detroit pitcher. But Adley here at the top, I do not mind him. Splits-wise, 3 games against Detroit, does have a home run. He's averaging about 8.3 fantasy points for a catcher, which is not bad for what I'm looking at. So I've got him, number 1. Number 2, I do have Will Smith against it. They think it's going to be Kyle Freeland. It is going to be Kyle Freeland. We love to take Will Smith against lefties. Now, what I haven't showed you is if you want some of the best sports betting content, you want to see the breakdowns, you want to see everything like this. Outlier.bet are our sponsors for the sports betting content that we bring to these videos. So if you are looking for certain trends, things like that, you can check that out. But, for instance, let's say you want to see Will Smith, okay? You want to see the Fresh Prince come up to bat here. Now, it doesn't matter. Let's just say home runs, whatever. We'll take any bet. I just want to get into this player. I want to show you all the different bets they have, and then you can break down supporting stats by plate appearances to fly balls. You can see matchups. So you can see in 19 plate appearances against Kyle Freeland, 294 batting average, 588 slugging with a home run, 3 extra base hits, 21.1 K percentage, and a 10.5 walk percentage. You can see that. Then you can see the splits for the year. 518 plate appearances on the season. He has 19 home runs, but then it even breaks it down by versus left-handed pitching. Will Smith versus left-handed pitching this year, 150 plate appearances, 8 home runs. Now, if you want to get even further, you can dig into this, and you can see that Will Smith has a 256 batting average against left-handed pitching. He hits left-handed pitching better than he does hit right-handed pitching, and you can see all of the batters that hit the pitching, where they hit it, how they hit it, average home run, RBIs, OPS, K percentage. It's all there. You can break it down. And what I love, if you are trying to, focus on certain games to find certain people to sports bet, DFS, whatever it is, you can break it into here. You can go into matchup detail for each game. You can, if you want to do sports betting, it even takes you out to your actual betting site, whether or not it's Fanduel, ESPN, MGM, all of them. They are all there. Check it out, outlier.bet. The sign-up link is down below. If you guys sign up using our link, you're going to get a 7-day free trial. Make sure you take advantage of that 7-day free trial of the Pro Package. If you want to sign up for the Pro Package, if you do that using our link, go through 7 days and then pay for the Pro Package, we're going to give you 3 months free of FTA Plus. All you got to do is show proof that you signed up. So again, go check out outlier.bet. But that being said, Will Smith, we absolutely love to take him against lefties. I've got him number 3 there. Number 4, I do have Sal Perez going up against Mason Black. Splits-wise, he has not faced San Francisco this year, but has 27 bombs on the year, 276 batting average. He's had multiple games in a row with positive fantasy points. I am taking all of that I can see. Give me Sal Perez, number 3. Number 4, I do have Austin Wells. It depends on if he's in this lineup. He should be. I think Trevi's going to be sitting. Austin Wells was on a tear, kind of slowed down a little bit lately, but does have those extra base hits. He's got 13 home runs on the year. He's doing pretty damn well for a catcher. So I do have him as number 4. Then we look at a different option where I do love William Contreras today, but I think I want a little bit of exposure to Ryan Jeffers going up against Dick Fitz. Okay, his name is Richard Fitz, so his name is Dick Fitz, and his parents hated him, whatever. So Jeffers against Dick Fitz, absolutely, I am taking that. Do love to take Jeffers against lefties, but I will take him against a righty here. I will take anyone against Dick Fitz as long as the shoe fits. So I have Ryan Jeffers as my 5th catcher of the day, of the main slate. So then we get to first base. So first base, Ohtani. First base, outfield does not matter. Obviously, he is great. If you did not have him yesterday in that slate, you did not win. He put up a monster 81 fantasy points. He put up 81 fantasy points yesterday. 81 at 7,000. He has now gone up to 7,100. Okay? 81 fantasy points is absolutely wild. You're going to stack the Dodgers. You have to put Ohtani in there. Now, he's not going to go 6 for 6, okay? Someone hasn't done that. He's not going to. But monster day, 3 home runs, blah, 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 everything. Absolute domination yesterday. Love Ohtani, whether or not it's first base, outfield, doesn't matter. He's number 1 there, so I am taking him. I don't know why the Marlins did not walk him. They're walking Aaron Judge. You're not going to walk Ohtani? Idiots. Dumb idiots. So Ohtani is number 1 regardless of what position. But in that instance, we go with another number 1. I'm looking at Freddie Freeman. I love Freddie Freeman against lefties. Splits-wise, 7 games against Colorado, has 2 home runs. He's averaging 12.6. So I have Freeman at number 2. Number 3, I have Christian Walker going up against Colin Ray. Splits-wise, 4 games against them, averaging 8 fantasy points there. Positive fantasy points in all the games since he's been back, except for 1, I believe. 2. Except for 2 games. So he's got positive fantasy points. I do have Christian Walker, number 3. Number 4 is Harper against Peterson. Harper loves to face the Mets on the road games. He's got a 268 batting average with 11 bombs. 9 games against the Mets this year, 4 bombs, averaging 13.4. So I do have him there. And then number 5 is Matt Olson. If you watched the breakdown yesterday, you know that I absolutely love Matt Olson. He only came through yesterday for 2 home runs and 36 fantasy points in a Brave stack, and we absolutely loved a Brave stack. So that's just different directions that we like to go. Yesterday, we absolutely loved a Brave stack, and it went off, especially with Matt Olson. So I do have Matt Olson leading up the rear of number 5 first base today. So we look at second base. Ketel Marte is expensive, yes, but you want to pay $800 less. Jose Altuve against Anderson. I love Altuve against a lefty here. Just faced them last week. Good, dominating. He leading off as long as he doesn't get thrown out. 9 games played there against them this year. 2 home runs, averaging 10.1. So I have Altuve number 1. Number 2 is Ketel Marte in Milwaukee versus Colin Ray. I like Ketel Marte number 2. Number 3 might be a little bit sneaky, but Michael Massey, a cheaper option, a cheapish option. Not done much lately. But if you are going to go with a Kansas City stack against Black, you're going to want to look at Michael Massey, number 3. Number 4, I've got Andres Jimenez, who had a walk-off yesterday. Won that game, 13 fantasy points. He's had back-to-back games with double-digit fantasy points there. And then number 5, it depends. It's very close. But for me, I am kind of looking at Brendan Donovan. I'm trying to see where he's at. Did I oversee him? No, he's down here. Right here. Brendan Donovan going up against Cleveland. Splits-wise, has not faced them this year. Game log, you can see he's had amazing games here. 4 for 4 yesterday with a double, 2 RBIs, 18 fantasy points. Day before that, 2 for 4 with a home run. Day before that, 10 fantasy points. Day before that, 11. He's been on fire. For whatever reason, he is a cheaper option at $3,300. I don't know why he's so cheap. I'm not understanding why he's so cheap. But I will take him against Ben Lively. So I've got him number 5. So if you looked at like Ben Lively here, and you see against St. Louis, he has not faced them this year. 3.87 ERA, 16.3 against Tampa Bay, 7.9 against the White Sox, which both of those teams he should have dominated. Strikeouts were very low. He doesn't strike out very many people. I don't mind a St. Louis stack here. So that is who I have as my top 5 for second base. Now we move to the third base. I mean, obviously Ramirez is a dominating force. Devers against Festa. Splits-wise, 3 games against them, 1 home run, averaging 12.3. 3 games, he did nothing in Tampa Bay. Nothing in Tampa Bay. Absolutely nothing. Which is wild. It's been wild so how inconsistent he is, but I think he gets back on track today. Again, anything can happen. And we do have some weather concern in this game, so definitely monitor the weather, but I do have Devers number 1 as of right now. Number 2, I do have Jose Ramirez going up against St. Louis. Has been a minute since he hit a home run. 9-14, so it's been a week since he's hit a home run versus Tampa Bay. He's now going, he's obviously a switch hitter, so it doesn't matter. Going by Kyle Gibson. I do like Jose Ramirez, number 2. Number 3, I've got Royce Lewis against Dick Fitz. Again, if Lewis can get in under that under that Fitz, I do like him. Again, weather is a concern, so definitely pay attention there. The number 4 I've got is Jazz. It's wild to see Jazz as third highest priced guy. Coming off a great game, home run yesterday in Seattle in that loss. 21 fantasy points. Got 23 home runs on the year. He's got a bunch of stolen bases too. So if he does get on base, he doesn't get thrown out. He usually gets a stolen base or two. 3 games against Oakland this year, 10 at-bats. Averaging 10.7. I like that matchup for him. So I've got him number 4. And then number 5, I do have Alec Bohm. A little bit, against a lefty, I will take him. Game log wise has not, since coming off the IL, been up and down. Does have a home run, though. 8 games against the Mets this year, 5 RBIs, averaging 6.5. I will take him for $4,200 if you want to save a little bit of money. Save $2,000 instead of going with Ramirez. Then we go to the shortstop position today. Number 1, Bobby Witt Jr. versus Black. I am taking Bobby Witt Jr. here. Home runs and stolen bases, extra base hits, he does it all. Number 2, I've got Trey Turner against Peterson. 4 games against the Mets this year, 1 home run, averaging 6.3. Number 3, I do have, and a lot of people want to go Gunnar Henderson. I get that. I understand. But for me, for number 3, I'm going Tommy Edman because I am loving another Dodger stack. So Tommy Edman, 4,100 against Freeland. Splits-wise, has not faced Colorado this year. Game log back-to-back 16-plus fantasy point games here. Obviously, if this were in Coors, his ownership would be even more. But I do love a Dodger stack. I do love a Tommy Edman stack there for number 4. And then number 5, obviously, we could look at Gunnar Henderson going up against Detroit. Positive games here. 3 games against Detroit with a home run. But if you want to save a little bit of money because $6,400 is expensive and it's going to be very hard to fit a Dodger stack in there with that, you could go down a little bit to Tyler Fitzgerald versus Michael Wacha. Splits-wise has not faced Kansas City this year. Positive fantasy points out of him, has 14 home runs. He's batting .290 on the year. Kind of slowed down a little bit lately, but I do not mind Tyler Fitzgerald at number 5. Then we got outfield. Again, if you didn't use Ohtani there, use him here for number 1. Number 2 is Mookie Betts against Freeland. I do like Mookie Betts here. He honestly didn't really do much yesterday in that monster game for Ohtani and the Dodgers, who put up 20 runs. People might be off of him, but again, we're going with the Dodger stack. I've got him number 1. Number 2 is Judge against JT Ginn. Number 3 would be Soto, but he's questionable. They've already clinched the playoffs. They're doing it well in the division. Obviously, they want to keep his bat in there, but he hit his knee on concrete, so they're kind of doing testing. So I've got him there, but that's kind of what we're waiting on. So we'll wait on Soto. So we'll just take Soto out of there, but if he is playing, I do like him. So if he is out and we need a number 3 guy, I am looking just to continue this trend. Teoscar Hernandez against the lefty. We love Teoscar Hernandez against the lefty. 7 games against Colorado, 1 home run, 7.9 fantasy points. I do have him there. I'll put him number 3 if we don't have Soto in there. Number 4 is Jarren Duran going up against David Festa if the weather's good. Number 5, I've got Yordan Alvarez against a lefty. He absolutely mashes lefties. If you want to see what I'm talking about, go check out outlier.bet. Go check out the game and go check out his batter splits. Or you could check out the batter splits under the MLB tab. And right here, the batter splits. We've got those as well. So, that being said, the final one that we're kind of looking at right now is Anthony Santander against the Detroit pitcher. Obviously has 42 home runs on the year. He's hitting at home. Home games, he has 17 home runs, 223 batting average, depending on what side of the plate he is on. Game log-wise, coming off a home run yesterday against San Francisco, just seems like he has a home run every single day. So I do have Anthony Santander there, the final outfield position. And that's it. Those are the breakdowns of the players, the top 5s, and then top 7 in the outfield that we like today. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over the pitches be crazy, and then we are going to go over the all of the batters that have a 10 out of 10 matchup rating through the early simulations today. Okay, so pitchers be crazy. Again, if you're new to the channel, these are all of the pitchers that have the best matchups today against teams that strike out the most. Now, not all of them are going to be 100% the best, but we are going to go over them just to kind of give you the stats. So, number one on this slate is Jacob deGrom. He's going up against Seattle. They struck out the most out of any team. They're averaging 10.10 times per game over their last three, averaging 10.67. And then when they are on the road, they're averaging 9.84. The problem, he's on a pitch count. Don't know how deep he's going to go into the game. If he gets in trouble, it could be trouble. But it is Jacob deGrom, so he is capable of striking out. He's capable of having 3 immaculate innings in a row. He won't, but he is a pitcher like that. So if he could do that and get 9 strikeouts in 3 innings, we're looking pretty damn good. Probably doesn't go more than 4 innings. It just depends on how efficient he is in this game. If he's too efficient, he's not striking people out. He's just getting to pop out or hit the ball within like 1 or 2 pitches. That kind of stinks for us. So use that information as you can. Number 2 is the pitcher versus Colorado. Colorado strikes out 9.85 times per game. It is not confirmed who that pitcher is yet. For the Dodgers, I don't believe it wasn't, unless they just confirmed it since we made this. And they have not confirmed it. They believe on here, they think it's going to be Robleski. Again, don't know. Hasn't pitched since 9-7. He was sent down. That's not confirmed yet. So, again, depending on who the Dodgers pitcher is, they have the second best matchup here against Colorado. Colorado on the road strikes out 10.54 times per game. So we'll kind of wait for that news. Number 3 is David Festa at Boston. Boston strikes out 9.73 times per game. On the road, or at home, 9.63. But again, weather is good. That's the only game so far that has weather concern. So we're kind of monitoring that. Number 4 is Garrett Cole at Oakland. Oakland strikes out 9.26 times per game. At home, they only strike out 8.71, but he does have the 4th best matchup. And then the 5th one is Nick Martinez versus Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh strikes out 9.25 times per game. And when Pittsburgh is at home, which they are in this game, I believe. No, they're on the road. They're on the road in Cincy. Pittsburgh on the road strikes out 9.96 times per game. Again, though, this is Great American Small Park, not the best ballpark for pitchers, so that is definitely something to take into account. Now we look at all the batters that have a 10 out of 10 matchup rating so far in the early simulations. Number 1, Jackson Chourio. Number 2, William Contreras. 3 is Kyle Schwarber. 4 is George Springer. 5, Jose Ramirez. 6, Marcell Ozuna. 7, Yordan. 8, Vladdy. 9, Michael Tolei. 10, Freddie Freeman. 11, Spencer Horwitz. 12, Alejandro Kirk. 13, Matt Olson. And number 14, Nick Castellanos. So there you have it. Those are the top 5s at each position. Those are the pitches be crazy. And those are the 10 out of 10 matchup ratings through the early simulations. Now, like we said, we're going to take a look at SaberSim. We're going to take a look what you can do. You can see different projections. If you like certain pitchers that have better matchups against teams that strike out the most, you can update that. You can go on, so on and so forth. You can go different team stacks. You can, if you see a certain team that you like, which, for instance, you want to see the team that, the Dodgers, minimum exposure, let's say 10%. We can change that to 10%. You've got Atlanta. Let's go 10% there. You got Houston. We'll go 10% there. The Yankees, 10%. Minnesota, the weather's a concern. Scares me a little bit. We'll go 10% here. I think Arizona's going to go off again. You can add them. You can do whatever you want. Those are minimum. You look at games. Now, again, game stack, so percentage that you want to look at. So far, it just depends. If you want to get in here, you can see the game that has, or we can see the game that has the highest exposure through Vegas right now, implied team totals. Let's see. It's the Dodgers game, obviously. 9.8. You can go through. You can go 9.8. So minimum exposure. Let's do 2. That game scares me with the weather, so I'm off of that. I am going to go with Atlanta at Miami. I am going to go with the Yankees at Oakland. And I'm going to go with San Francisco at Kansas City. So you can apply these. You can look at different rules if you want. You can do different filters, whether or not show players with whatever. It just depends. There's so many different ones you can do. If you want to filter out a game, so like for instance, I don't know how the weather's going to be. I'm going to filter out Minnesota at Boston just to get them out of there, because that's where I want to look at. Stack exposure. So you can really see the different kind of stacks. 5-3, 5-2, 4-4, 4-2-2, whatever. So let SaberSim do most of the work for you. Again, if you only make like 5 lineups, do it by hand. But if you make multi-entry, like 20 plus, you can do this. So we'll rebuild the lineup. Building the lineup will cause all of your previous lineups to be discarded. You will not be able to recover them. If you'd like to retain these lineups, create a new build or send your lineups to favorites before building. So we're going to build lineups. We're going to let it do its thing. It does up to 5,000 lineups, a minimum salary of $49,000, and a maximum of $50,000. So it leaves $1,000 on the table. Again, you can change everything you want. You can go up and down. But what I like is you can look through. You can see the pitchers that have the most value tonight. Garrett Cole at his price on DraftKings at 2.24. You got Charlie Morton, who's a cheaper option by 500 there. Verlander is there, scares me a little bit. So if we look at what Verlander brings to the table, down at 7,800, game log wise, hasn't really done much. That's the thing. It went up against the Angels. Now he has that same matchup here. Went 5 innings in that game, 2 earned runs, but only had 2 strikeouts in 89 pitches. He struggled a little bit. His price has gone up too. So it really just depends. So let him do its thing. It's going to do up to 5,000 lineups. Obviously, you're not playing 5,000 lineups, but you can go through those lineups. You can have it filter out. Once it builds through, we'll show you. So I'm going to pause this video until it is done, because I don't want you guys to just be sitting here, and we will talk about it at the end. Okay, so it's done, and we can just see the initial lineup, like the top lineup that it's showing. Player pool, 3,685. Again, you can do different things. You can sort it different ways. You want to do compact mode, you could see it that way, but this one's probably the easiest way to see it. So the first projected lineup here, projected score of 100, ownership at 61%, stack was a 5-3, so obviously we have 5 Mariners and 3 Rangers, along with Corbin Burnes and Garrett Cole, which are one of the top 2 pitchers that we liked, so that's great. The ownership obviously is high on Garrett Cole, so if you want to get leverage on the field, go down off Garrett Cole, because again, that's the name of the game, leverage. So you can see the ownership. You can change the different ownerships, minimum exposure, maximum exposure, all the way through, all the way different at percentiles, how they think he's going to do. Again, they simulate so many times. It is called SaberSims for a reason. So you look through, a lot of these make sense. Then you want to look at the games that they come from. So the Mariners and the Rangers. So that's the game where they think a lot of runs are going to be scored between the 2 teams. So Seattle and Texas. So we look at the pitchers in this game. George Kirby versus DeGrom. If DeGrom gets out, then he gets to Texas bullpen, who up and down. And then George Kirby, who this year, 2 games against them, hasn't had a bad game. So this is where you can make a little bit of a jump. So, but he's averaged 25.8 fantasy points. So maybe we go down off of a Mariners stack here. Like this is what or a Texas stack. The way Texas has been. So we look at Texas bats. And again, you can go through, you can check out, like, let's say we're not going with like a Texas stack. So when you remove them, then that immediately shifts it to a Padres and Cleveland stack. Okay? So we look at this. You've got Cleveland with a 4.4. You've got San Diego with a 4.6. Bo Naylor, Josh Naylor, Ramirez, Rocchio, and Martinez. And then Jackson Merrill, Bogarts, Profar there, Garrett Cole, and Corbin Burnes. So there's just a ton of different ways to go about it. Again, you can even say build it for different slates. So if you're playing a certain game, a small slate, 100 to 1,000 players, it'll update it, for instance. So let's just see It even sims it to different slates to how many people are in those contests. So again, Corbin Burns, Garrett Cole, that it really loves. You've got the Mariners here, and then you've got the 5-2 stack Mariners over here with Altuve and Bregman, and then Jorge Soler at Miami. So it just depends on the different slates that you think you're going to be playing here. So let's say you're playing a large slate of 50,000 plus. See if it's any different between the 1,000 and 50,000. So again, it goes the Padres and the Guardians as a stack here. So this will be one of the lineups that I put in there. We'll have other things on the website. So again, if you have not been to FantasyTeamAdvisors.com, make sure you check it out. MLB tab has all of this down here. We've got a great cheat sheet that you guys can use. Players at each position, stacks at the bottom. We've got it for you. So that's what I've got today. If you like the video, if you're new, make sure you hit that like button. Minimum of 50 likes to have a giveaway. And be on the lookout for all of the NFL content that we'll be putting out there. So good luck on this slate. Good luck in the future. As always, let's bring home some bacon. Peace.